Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Storytime Society. I'm your host Jamie and I'm so glad you're here. I'm so happy you're alive. Thanks for tuning in. The theme of this episode is Am I the Devil? Subreddit. So let's get into it. Am I the devil for not siding with my husband after my daughter started giving him the silent treatment over a paternity test? Throwaway, so this isn't connected to my main account. My daughter, 16, is about 16 weeks pregnant. The father is her 19-year-old boyfriend, who she's been with for 2 years. I wasn't on board with the relationship at first because of the age gap. She was just turning 14. He was already 17. It didn't sit right with me. But my husband, her stepdad, talked me into it. He's been friends with the boyfriend's family forever and kept saying how he was a respectful kid from a good home and that we'd just be stirring up unnecessary problems if we got in the way. I let it go. But I'm starting to really regret that now. So, a couple of months ago, she comes to us and says that she's pregnant. I was shocked. Yeah, but I tried to stay calm. I told her we'd figure it out. My husband, though, immediately questioned if the baby was even the boyfriend's. Didn't even hide it. He just launched right into accusing her of lying. His reasoning was that they couldn't have done anything. That would have been illegal, and my daughter's boyfriend is not stupid enough to risk that, and his parents raised him better than that. When I pressed my husband by asking about what if they really did sleep together, he simply replied, even if they did do it, he knows that her boyfriend would have used a condom because he's responsible. My daughter obviously denied and cried doing so, but he wouldn't let up. He told her if she didn't agree to a paternity test, he wasn't going to support her at all. That turned into a massive fight between us, and I said he was being cold and cruel. And he said I was letting her manipulate me. We argued constantly for weeks. He kept acting like I was being betrayed by him by not siding with him. But I was just trying to protect my kid. We had to wait until my daughter was further into her pregnancy until we could actually do the test. And it was a very dark time for my daughter. She completely shut down. She barely left her room, only seemed to eat for the baby, barely spoke. I caught her crying so many times and once overheard her telling her boyfriend maybe she should give the baby up for adoption because no one believes in me anyway. That wrecked me. Meanwhile, I've been doing everything I can to show her I do believe her. I've been taking her to appointments, checking in on her constantly, just trying to be steady even when I don't have all the answers. I know I haven't been, but I've made sure she knows she's not alone. Her boyfriend and his family have been supportive the whole time. No drama, no accusations. They said if the baby's his, they'd help with everything, and the boyfriend made it clear he wants to be involved and happily cooperated with the test. The test results finally came back, and yep, the baby is the boyfriend's, just like she said from the beginning. She didn't yell, didn't rub it in my husband's face. She just went quiet. And ever since, she's been completely distant with my husband. Bare minimum conversations, avoids him whenever she can. He says she's being disrespectful, and I think she's just done trying. And then she asked me, actually begged me to let her stay with her dad, my ex, for a while. She was crying, saying that she felt like she didn't belong in this house and that she needed space. That one hurt. But I said yes. Her dad and his girlfriend have been amazing about it, honestly. They didn't hesitate. They told her she's always welcome, that they'll help however they can. They've gone out of their way to make her feel safe and wanted, and I can't really be mad about her wanting to go over there right now. It is what she needs. Now my husband's mad at me. He says that I'm letting her treat him like garbage and that I've failed him as a partner by not backing him up. We got into it again. He said I've been undermining him for months, and I told him that maybe if he hadn't treated her like a liar from day one, she wouldn't be shutting him out now. That maybe he should try being a father instead of a prosecutor. And he didn't like that. So now he's sulking, and I'm tired. Am I the devil? I'm just not really sure I'm just really confused what he thought was going to happen in the first place. And the second place, I have to say, what's his deal? I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm just confused. What's with it? What's with him? What's going on? Why is he so concerned and why is he so sure that she must have stepped out on her relationship and that it must not be the boyfriend's? I'm just a little bit confused about that part. What do you mean? Are you dumb? I know that you were 17 and young once. Or I guess they're older now. I guess she's 16 and he's 19. Which, that in itself is just you're allowing them to date. So you have to know what comes with dating as a young couple. Do you think that they're really being celibate and they're not doing anything? Because I'm sorry, you're stupid if you think that. If you truly think that they're not doing anything and you think this guy's he definitely wouldn't do that because that's illegal. And if he did, they would have used a condom. What does that make anything better? I don't know. I would feel in high school, it's obviously like normal for a freshman to date a senior. Actually, you know what? I thought it was so fucking weird because my ex, actually, I was 15, about to turn 16, and he was like 17, maybe about, I can't really remember. I think he was about to turn 18 or he was 18. I'm not really sure. After we broke up, immediately he started dating a girl a year younger than me. And I was like so grossed out by that because I was like, first of all, you dating me, it's already like, I was a sophomore, he was a senior, and then he's a senior and he starts dating a freshman. I don't know. As a senior myself, like when I was a senior in high school, I didn't know a freshman. Like I did not know a freshman. They were babies to me. They're basically in 8th grade in my eyes. So I feel like that was just so weird. And I felt like I felt like he was so scummy for that. It was just like, ew, that's gross. And then not only that, but like he took my virginity. So he's probably just trying to go younger so that he can take this girl's virginity. And then, he's just so weird. He was so weird for that, honestly. So I don't know. I mean, that's not even the point of this, but I think in the first place, it's just like the situation as a whole is just a little bit worrying because she's a 16-year-old dating a 19-year-old. Even though they started dating when he was legal, like it was all legal because they were under the age of 18, I still find it weird for a 16 and a 19-year-old to be dating because, yeah, that is illegal. Honestly, this whole story is confusing me. The tab comment says, so you have allowed your husband to treat your daughter like this for months. He's an asshole, but you are too. If you're not careful, she's not going to want you in her life either. He chose his friend's family over your daughter. You're choosing to stay with him, even if it means she moves out. Not cool. Very not cool. You're the asshole. Foreign Links responded to that and said, he didn't choose his friends because they were supportive and the baby daddy wants to be involved and also his parents. He's just a judgmental asshole abusing a pregnant minor. Elizabeth Baker responded to that and said, OP is trying to be supportive. No. Being supportive would mean kicking the judgmental, overgrown toddler out of the house. I'm also wondering if he's cheating on OP and attempted to project the guilt into a pregnant teenager. Cheaters, especially the asshole ones, often accuse other people of cheating. I agree. I think she is definitely the asshole. Like, I think they're all assholes here. This poor girl is just like a pregnant 16-year-old. She needs support. She doesn't need her own family coming after her and her mom not even sticking up for her in a way that actually matters. It's like you can say that you're being supportive, but are you really being supportive if you're letting your husband treat your daughter this way and you're not like kicking him into shape? The title of the next story is, my 28 male girlfriend, 30 female, shares the toxic feminist views. Should I let her go? Hi, before I explain what I mean by toxic feminist, let me give some context on the situation. I've been dating this girl for 6 months now. Super sweet. I think we're a good match in terms of coexisting and living together. She stays over a few days at my place per week. She brings me peace, which is something I value a lot in a relationship. I always knew she was pro-girly, meaning she's all for girl empowerment, celebrating women, and so on. That's totally fine, and I encourage her doing that. She would tip more for women, watch more girl shows, follow more girls online, etc., which seems pretty normal and fair to me. However, something came up this week. We were laying in bed, and she was browsing Instagram Reels and ended up on a video of an influencer bashing the current trend of the manosphere, red pill way of thinking, etc., that it's all phony and that it's brainwashing a generation of men to think like that, which I agree with. It's garbage from social media. When I heard the influencer rant about it, I told her, it's crazy how much traction the whole manosphere thing's been getting, comparatively to the propaganda women receive on social media, which prompted her to ask what I meant, which brings me to the toxic feminist label, which I clarified by saying there's always been a movement for a while now of women preaching how men are trash, bears are safer than men are useless, so on and so forth, to which she responded, well, it's true though. Teases. I was taken aback and I told her I was very disappointed to hear her share the same vision as these social media influencers. We argued a little bit, her man argument being that you don't know the experiences women have with men and how it can warp their perception of the opposite gender. It seems crazy to me to put a whole gender in the same basket just because of a few bad apples. There's trash people out there, not just men. I finally asked her, you really think it's okay to say things like that and mean it? To which she said, yes, that I'm an exception and that in her friend group they joke about how their boyfriends are the exception to the rule. I told her to pack her things and that I'd bring her back home. To me, it shows a lack of critical thinking and a lack of accountability when it comes to who you tolerate in your life. I know some women have had no say in their interaction with terrible men, the same way men have had terrible experiences with other women. But that, all in all, it shouldn't have to paint a whole gender a certain way. The men close to me in my life are all people I look up to, people I see myself in. We haven't spoken since, and honestly, I'm still shook. I'm very adamant on not associating with people that make up their minds like that, incapable of accepting the nuance. I'm thinking of letting her go, which saddens me because otherwise I could have seen myself with her for the rest of my life. Not sure if I should make the move or let her reflect on it to see if changes can be made. It's been 3 days and so far, no interaction. I apologize for the poor grammar. Edit, I would like to add that before all of this, I've never gotten the vibe that she was a man hater or that she disliked men in general, just that she was a girl's girl. Storytime Society is now available on all listening platforms. If you are on any of those listening platforms, I would really appreciate it if you rated me 5 stars. Thanks for all the support. Okay, well, this is the wrong story for me to read because I'm on the girl's side 100%. And yes, you are the devil, because to compare what girls go through to what men go through every day and how what girls have to deal with men putting them through versus how men have to deal with what women put them through, it's not even comparative. And that's the whole point. He's just proving her point by saying like, well, men have to deal with women and women can be bad to men. No, you don't fucking know what it feels like to go outside, to go to a gas station and to fear for your life because there's a man standing beside you, or a man comes up to you and is... I've had so many men approach me at the gas station during broad daylight and be so scary and be so creepy. And I'm just trying to mind my own business. It's not all men, but it's always a man. It's always a man. The whole point, like, men don't understand what women have to go through with men and the interactions that we have to have. And not only that, but the men that kill women in broad daylight for no reason, just because they wanted to. Oh, this could get me going. This could get me so heated. It really pisses me off. Like, how about just let us, especially to say that, like, he's an exception. Exactly. Like, I think my boyfriend's an exception. Obviously, I don't think all men, but yes, it's always a man. Of course, there's going to be exceptions. Like, there's exceptions in every situation in the world. You could not even put one singular situation or one singular person and just generalize as a whole. But like, do you always have to preface and be like, by the way, this is how I don't mean that it's this and this. No, it's assumed, and you're part of the problem if you don't understand that. And if you're comparing what women go through versus what men go through in a day, because you will never understand. Like, you will never understand. She was 100% right about that. And you proved her point that you will never understand what a woman has to go through when it comes to dealing with men every day. Okay, let's read some comments. The top comment says, it's been 3 days so far of no interaction. Well, and then this person said, bro came to Reddit for nuance, LOL. Friendly Rub said, I'll stay out of the men versus women toxicity debate, but I do wonder if you even have a choice now. Your response was pretty nuclear. Whatever the arguments, and I'd be very surprised if she hasn't done some soul searching about you having a dangerously fine hair trigger. She hasn't called, and I doubt that she will. What advice are you asking for? How right was I on a scale from extremely right to the most right? And then Downtown John Brown said, yeah, this post feels like obvious rage bait. Part of me can't believe people are gobbling it up so blindly, but that's also typical. Then this person said, thinking that any group as a whole is one way, but the one individual person you know is the exception is always toxic. If you really vibe with her and feel a sense of peace around her, then it would be worthwhile to have one more conversation. Explain why her comment is wrong and hurtful. Talk about it. If she still digs in her heels and insists that all men suck, well, I guess that's that. No, she probably doesn't want to be... You're not going to have a choice after this. She's probably not wanting you back anyways, because I wouldn't want this person back either. It seems like a lot of these people that are commenting are men. So, like, reading these comments just doesn't mean much to me because obviously most men are going to be on a man's side, of course. Okay, this is a woman. There's, like, some little... subtopics under some of their names, and it says like man and woman. This person says patriarchy doesn't mean every individual man is bad. It's a power structure. It's like systemic racism. It doesn't require every person involved to be personally out to oppress non-white people, but the system overall is biased against them, leading to worse outcomes in health, education, housing, etc. Yeah, exactly. And this person said, sometimes it's, quote, all men are bad except for the few that I feel safe around. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. And then they said, that being said, I don't think all men are bad. I'm friendly to pretty much everyone, but only one sex ever makes me wish I put my sweatshirt on a few sentences in. I'm not sure you'll ever understand how hard it can be and how on guard we always need to be. That's not a scolding or an eye roll. It's just, I think you'd genuinely be surprised. But I want to be clear, just grouping people together like straight feminist women think this way or black women act that way, for instance, is not helping anyone. Many men have heard our cries for help, and the respect for my personhood has absolutely increased from 10, 15 years ago. Dang, there are a lot of men up in these comments. I'm like, oh, man. Like, let me hear from a woman, please. I mean, I'm just glad that my boyfriend doesn't think this way, honestly, because I think that it's just so besides the point. Like, I just think you got to stop acting like you're the one that's oppressed. Like, you just got to just let her be the way that she is and understand that it's obviously a nuanced situation, but that doesn't mean that she can't feel strongly about something and express it in that way. I don't know. I'm just always I'm on the woman's side, so nothing really can change my mind. This person said, I literally know no women who haven't had their boundaries crossed in at least one way by a man. And they were then usually gaslit into thinking it was no big deal and that they were still a nice guy, even if the girl was crying at the end for whatever reason. So yes, it is that bad. Exactly. It is that bad. So it's like, maybe you should do a little research. Maybe you should, like, I don't even know, strap a fucking GoPro to your girlfriend's head so that you can see what she has to deal with on a daily. Because I have to say that like 90% of the time, there's creepy men that I have interactions with. And I feel like if it weren't, I don't know. A lot of these comments are like just a little bit, they're just very, very so far on the man's side that it's kind of gaslighting me to thinking like, am I wrong for thinking this? No, I don't think I'm wrong for thinking this. I don't think that anything that she's thinking is that bad or even that, like, I don't think it's out of line. I think I share a lot of the same thoughts, and I feel like that's just because of the experiences that I've had with men growing up, and I've had a lot of terrible experiences with men. So I've been hardened to men, and I just don't really feel that bad for you. Sorry. The title of the next story is, Am I the asshole for liquidating my daughter's college fund to keep our dream house? I, 50 female, lost my husband 4 years ago. I also have a 16-year-old daughter. My late husband left me everything and told me to trust his lawyer. My husband had worked for 20 years as a doctor and did some minor investing, so I inherited over 7 figures. A year later, I decided to list our home of 12 years and received an offer too good to receive, with the inheritance as well as the influx of cash from selling the house. I decided to move my daughter and I to Malibu because we always dreamed of a home next to the beach, but my husband was exceptionally tight-fisted and called homes money pits. We found a beautiful home by the sea. I never personally handled anything regarding buying a home before, so I did not anticipate all the extra costs beyond the sticker price. But my daughter was so excited, so I decided to go for it. My late husband's lawyer was furious at my decision, so I decided to stop taking his calls. I ended up signing with a money manager who said that we'd be passively earning 90% of what surgeons earned per year, but the money manager ended up tanking a lot of our investments. I took the dwindling money out and made my own investments, which made it worse, and long story short, because of all that, I only have around $35,000 available to me now, not to mention our debts. With the amount available to me, I am looking at only being able to pay 1 month of mortgage, upkeep, and then I'm basically out of luck until my business gets clients. However, the place where we do have a significant amount of money is the fund my husband started for our daughter. With the money there, I could prevent our credit cards from being shut down and not have to worry about the mortgage for many more months. So I ended up liquidating my daughter's college fund. I told her about it today and she was furious and said She cannot believe all her dad's work is gone. She also said she won't be supporting me for retirement. Am I the asshole for trying to fix my mistakes and trying to keep our house? I think that it's being very selfish. And I think that, in my opinion, like, you should have been more responsible with the money. And I hate to say that because obviously you can't really go back in time anymore. But obviously, if your late husband's lawyer is calling you and trying to tell you, like, hey, I would probably listen. I would probably be like, yeah, you're right. I probably shouldn't do this. I should be a little bit more responsible with my money. And also, maybe, I don't know. I definitely think that, obviously that's done and over with. Like, she already lost the money. There's nothing really that she can do about it now. I would just say why don't you just sell the house and move somewhere else? Can you not do that? I'm just a little bit confused about that. You're just going to end up liquidating your daughter's college fund, and then that's going to be gone, and then everything else is going to be gone. You're never going to be able to get back up. Like, you're never going to be able to catch back up or have enough to not have to worry about the future because you already kind of screwed that over. I don't know how much money is in that damn college fund, but yeah, you should probably leave that where your husband intended it for it to be, which is with your daughter. And also, it seems like by doing that, you don't really care about your daughter's future, which is also very sad and selfish. So yeah, definitely the asshole there. The top comment says, you're the asshole. You decided not to listen to the lawyer. You decided to move to an extremely expensive place, and you decided to trust somebody's shady advice. Now you're taking away from your daughter's chances of being able to go to college loan-free. That money is not yours, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Someone responded to that and says, he has it right. Malibu is a money pit of empty Airbnbs, one grocery store on the highway with outrageous prices and almost no food except for tourist traps. Edit, well, since everyone is here, skip Malibu Farm Pier Cafe. Not worth it. Go to Lily's Malibu if you want a fast, cheaper burrito. And then someone responded to that and said, I didn't mean that the husband gave her shady advice, but the so-called money manager. Dude is suspicious as hell, which the lawyer probably could have told her had she not cut him off. I know, it's what I'm wondering. I'm like, I would probably be taking advice from the lawyer that was entrusted with your husband's money. And then this person commented, and she's blaming her daughter, aged 12, for being so excited about the beach house that they had to move. Exactly. Like, come on, you're going to be like, oh, well, my daughter was so excited, so I had to do it. No, maybe you should just take accountability for that part and be like, I'm the adult here. I made the decision. And did her being excited motivate me a little bit? Sure. But that's not what made you purchase this expensive ass Malibu beach house. Dizzy Needleworker said, the money manager may not have necessarily given OP bad, shady advice. OP had a 7-figure windfall. A quick Redfin search shows empty lots going for $650K to $8.3 million and homes from $1.5 to $4.7 to $75 million. OP admits they did not realize all the home buying fees and costs. OP may have liquidated a lot of money to put down a down payment on the house. 20% on a $4.7 million home is $940,000. The money manager may not have invested too badly, but the market overall is down. OP likely withdrew the rest of the money against the manager's advice. OP says they only have $35,000 left, but we don't really know how much they actually gave the money manager to handle. If money manager was given $1 million and it's down to $35,000, then yes, it was shady. But if OP had only given $60,000 and it's down to $35,000, the manager might not be that shady, especially if OP gave the green light to conduct riskier investments. If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you. I would never be risky with my money, girl, especially if I wanted to leave money or have that money for, like, if I was inherited 7 figures or if I won 7 figures in the lottery or something, the way that I would be so smart with that money, I would be investing it in long-term investments, first of all, not risky investments. That's like gambling with the money. I would be putting some of it in like a high-yield saving account. I would be opening up like maybe a Roth IRA for my daughter or something so that when she is wanting to retire, she can have money too. I would be doing so much more than buying them. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to be judgmental, but, and I get like when you get money and when you get a lot of money and you get your hands on that and you're able to make decisions with it by yourself, Yeah, I'm sure that I've never felt that way because I've never gotten $1 million or seven figures handed to me before, but I'm sure I can imagine where you would want to like spend some big bucks because you'd feel like, oh my God, I can finally do this. Like, that's so amazing. Yeah, but also you have to think about the future. And I guess a lot of people don't think about the future when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I'm really glad that I have anxiety around the future, and I'm always like trying to prepare for the future and trying to build the best future for myself, because God forbid, like I don't want to be fucked when I get older. It's really as simple as that. So I would be so much smarter. Also, I'd probably take into account what my husband said when he was alive, especially because how do he clearly knew how to handle his money. He left you a significant amount of money. I would probably look up to him and what he was thinking and be like, oh, well, he didn't think that was a good idea, so I probably shouldn't do that because it's probably not a good idea. And clearly he knew what he was talking about, you know? I would just probably trust that my late husband knew what he was doing, especially if he had all that money to leave behind. But there's nothing really you can do about it now. You already did all the damage that there is to do. That is the end of the storytime segment. We're going to move on to the advice segment. If you ever want unprofessional advice from me, there's a Google form in the description below. Just leave me as much detail as possible. And I also have a number that you can call. It's 561-264-7017. And you can leave a voicemail on there and give me as much detail as possible on there. The title of this advice question is, does standing up for myself make me the asshole? Dear Jamie, I wanted to share one of my diary entries with you. I've been following you for a while, and I really value your advice and the way that you look at things. Lately, I've been journaling more, and this feels like the best way to share my story. It's been a while since I last wrote in my diary. I've had so much on my mind. Last night felt like a nightmare. My partner and I went to a karaoke night nearby. I was actually enjoying myself. I felt pretty confident and free for once. But maybe that's where this trouble started. Some of the women there seemed jealous, and I could feel the tension. I sang a song, not because I think I'm a great singer, but just because I wanted to have fun. At one point, the karaoke host asked me to pass on a message to someone. I gently touched the woman's shoulder to speak to her, and she snapped. "Don't touch me," she said. I was shocked. When I went back and told the host what had happened, she blamed me. She said that I was messing up her gig. Now it feels like the whole town is against us. It's a small, tight-knit place, and we're new here. We don't matter much to anyone. I ended up standing up for myself and shouting back because I'm tired of being walked all over. I can't even rely on my partner to stand by me. He just stood there and said nothing. Now he might even lose his job over all of this. Everything suddenly seems so fragile, all because I dared to be confident and not accept being disrespected. Sometimes it feels like being pretty and outspoken makes people hate you, and I'm so tired of paying the price for it. So I have to ask, does standing up for myself make me the asshole? I don't think that standing up for yourself ever makes you the asshole. I think that if someone's being rude, then you have every right to stand up for yourself. And I do think, obviously, like I feel I'm confused. I wish I had a little bit more detail on why your husband is losing his job over this, considering he didn't do anything. And also, I'm not like, what could you have done? It's not like you punched them in the face, and I would have shouted back too. I would have been like, girl, don't talk to me like that. Are you okay? She put another advice and it's an update, and it says, update. I found out the real reason behind the woman's attitude. It turns out her husband had been talking to me the last time that we met, asking where I'm from and just being friendly. I guess she got jealous, and that's what sparked everything. It makes sense now. In a way, I'm glad I stood up for myself. Maybe now people will think twice before trying to walk all over me. I would say, girl, stand up for yourself. I've always been one to say that I stand up for myself, and I stand up if I think that I'm truly in the right, which sometimes I gotta think about it a little bit longer, because I'm like, sometimes I'm thinking I'm in the right most of the time, and I'm like, you know what, girl, you should probably think about that again, because you're not always right. But I have to like convince myself, because sometimes I'm just like, I'm right? Like, I'm right. But I don't know, whatever. I'm stubborn, but I've gotten better. I'm self-aware that I'm stubborn. So it definitely helps that I'm self-aware, because then I can take a step back, and I can be like, all right, you're stubborn. You always want to be right. So maybe you should look at it from a different perspective for a second. And then I do, and then that helps me come to if need be. And you'll hear me say this in a lot of episodes that I'll always stand up for myself, or I'll always stand up for what's right. And I'll always stand up for somebody else if I know. I don't care. I'm going to stand up for that person. If someone's doing harm or intending to do harm to someone, then I'm there. I'm not just going to be like, oh yeah, go ahead and talk to my friend like that. And like, no, I'm going to say something and I'm going to stand up for them because I don't care. Actually, a couple weeks ago, I had the worst experience at this restaurant. Not a restaurant. It was Blaze, which is like not really a restaurant, but it's gone so downhill by my house. The workers they hate their lives, which I get it, but it's like, I don't expect you to be up my ass and be so, sucking my asshole, but I do expect you to be a friendly person, especially if you're customer service facing. It's like, I've worked so many customer service jobs and I usually just suck it the fuck up and smile. I want to spread joy and positivity. I don't want to act like an asshole. And 99% of the workers there are assholes. Like, they act like you are literal scum on the earth and like you are just bothering them, and it's like, why are you even here? And it was crazy. And the manager is even worse. There was this deal going on and we were trying to apply it at the front, and the girl, I think she didn't really know what the deal was. I think that she was just like, oh no, because she was explaining it to us a completely different way. And it was like, I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, and so we weren't going to get the deal. And I was like, oh, well, can I just talk to your manager? So like, I wasn't trying to be mean. I was just like, can I just talk to your manager just so that he can like come and figure it out? Because I think that there's like a miscommunication here. And he was right there. So he came over and he talked to us, and he was actually like, the girl was not mean at all. She wasn't mean. She just didn't understand what was going on. And he came over and he was like yelling at us. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, excuse me. I literally was like, okay, well, you don't have to be rude. If someone's rude to me, like, I'm going to call them out for being rude, especially if it's a customer service person. And when I'm only trying to figure something out and I'm being nice about it, oh, well, you're not going to get the nice side of me anymore. Once you're rude to me, like, I'm not going to be nice to you anymore. And I know they say kill him with kindness, but sorry, if you're going to be rude to me, I'm going to be rude right back. And I'm going to question, why are you being rude? I was like, okay, well, you don't have to be rude about it. And he's like, starts screaming even more. And then I'm like, oh, this is great customer service. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. And then we kind of we got it figured out and we went on our way. But after that, like, every time we go in there now, I just feel so icky. And I'm like, why? And it's every time. It's every time. It's not like this is one day and this was like, oh, they were just having a bad day. It was a bad experience. No, it's every time. I've been there so many times. It's always this guy and 90% of the workers. And maybe they hate their lives because this guy's their manager, honestly. I could see that happening. He's so fucking rude. And it's just, he's so condescending about everything. And it pisses me off because it's like, I'm also a human being, Like, I'm also a human being. I would love it if you treated me like one. And I hate when people do that. I hate when people treat you like you're not a human being and they just talk down to you like you're the dumbest person alive. It's like, sorry. I'm so sorry for being an inconvenience and being alive right now. Like, what do you want from me? Anyways, that just spiraled into something that didn't need to happen, but you have a right to stick up for yourself. And I'll always say that. I highly encourage everyone to stick up for themselves or to stick up for other people that need to be stuck up for, especially because some people feel like they can't stick up for themselves, or some people just don't feel comfortable sticking up for themselves. And I get it. I do get it, but I'll stick up for you, girl. That's the end of the advice segment. So just remember, if you ever want advice, there's always a form for you to fill out and a number for you to call. So love ya so much. It's raining here in Florida today, which honestly, thank God. And I think it's because summertime is coming round the mountain when she comes. We'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. I'm so glad that it's raining because it's been humid AF lately. And when it rains, I feel like it kind of just lets the humidity like go, and it just slows down for a second. But it's been so hot, and I fear that it's going to be even hotter this summer. It's like not even enjoyable to go outside when it's this hot out. It's actually crazy. Like, why I don't even want to go to the beach because the sand burns. It gives you eighth degree burns, if that's even a thing. It gives you 200th degree burns. It's actually insane. Even if you're wearing shoes, the sand will like flip up into your shoe and it's gonna it literally burns your foot off. It's wild. So that's like not even enjoyable. Yesterday we went to the shelter, the cat shelter. We go there for fun sometimes, and it's kitten season, so right now there's like more kittens than usual, and I just always like to look at the kittens there and just like pet. And I also like to look at the older cats and pet them if they're nice, because some of them obviously aren't nice, but I love going in with the older cats and like giving them love, because I don't know, I'm sure a lot of them don't get love that often, especially especially when it's kitten season. Like, most people are looking at the kittens, but the kittens are a little bit crazy sometimes. Like, it's hard to give kittens love because they just want to play all the time. So it's nice to go into the adult or like elderly cats rooms where they actually like want love and affection, and they'll give you love and affection rather than like trying to bite your fingers off and trying to like fucking untie your shoelaces every second. But there was a bunch of cute baby. There were tiny little kittens. Like, they were all probably under 2 pounds. It was kind of, I was like, damn, these cats are tiny. There was also this little cat with eyelid agenesis, which I would have never known what this was. But a week ago, I saw this TikTok of this orange cat, and this girl was like, I bought, it was like basically the story of how she got this cat. So she saw this little girl orange cat, which girl orange cats are more rare because they're typically male cats. So like having a girl cat that's orange is pretty rare. And she got this cat because he had eyelid agenesis, and she wanted to adopt him and then save up money, or she actually started a GoFundMe or a fundraiser, I think, for him so that she could get him the surgery, because there's this certain surgery to basically give them eyelids because they're born without eyelids. And there was a cat there. Guys, her name was Tatiana. I saw her and I was like, oh my God, I immediately recognized that she had that because I saw that TikTok. And before, I would have not recognized that ever. So I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like, I've never seen a cat with eyelid agenesis before. And she looked so cool. And she couldn't really like open her eyes that much. And I wonder if that's because they're like sensitive or what. But they had like a little slit at the top, and she hadn't had the surgery. I assume that's because she's in the shelter, and I don't think that they'll probably do that. We have 3 cats at home, and I'm not even kidding. She was in quarantine, so I couldn't pet her, but there was like glass, and I was like tapping on it, and she was like rubbing up against the glass, and like I wanted to pet her so bad because she was being so cute. She would flip upside down and she would make biscuits in the air. The sweetest little girl in the world. And I was like, you are so sweet. I went around, looked at more cats, and then I came back around. I went to her like 3 times just to like keep interacting with her because she was so sweet, and I just like loved her. And then me and Jack go to the bathroom, and there's like a window in the hallway of the bathroom. So after I got done going to the bathroom, I came out and I was waiting for Jack because he was like washing his hands and going to the bathroom. And I was looking through the window, and she was right there, and she was like staring at me, and she was like perched, and it was actually so cute. She was like perched, like so cute with her little paws like this, just like looking at me, like making eye contact with me, like, hi. And it was so cute. And there was a bunch of kids that kept walking by, and they would point at her basically like, oh, look at that one, look what's wrong with it, or whatever, or like, look, and then they would just keep walking. And I'm not kidding, she would look back at me every time someone would pass by, and we would make eye contact. And then I started bawling. I was like, okay, this is so upsetting for me to see this poor cat that is honestly like, I felt like her eyelids made her even more beautiful because she looked so unique. I'd never seen a cat like that in person before, and I'd only ever seen that cat on TikTok once. So I was like, I thought that she looked so unique and so cute, and I just was crying because I was like, it's so sad to see everyone pass by her and just point at her and be like, point her out to their friends and family just so that they can like see what's wrong with her. Like, oh, look at that one, you know? And then just while she's looking so sweet, like the cutest, sweetest little lady ever. And I bet you she was the friendliest cat in that whole entire building. But everyone was passing by her, and I also had seen previously that she'd been in there since February, like mid-February. So that made me even more sad because I was like, oh, so she's been in here for months and like no one wants her. And she was like a kitten still. She was probably 6 months. She was really small. And I'm like, and then Jack comes out of the bathroom and I'm like, I feel so bad. And I'm like bawling, and he's like, oh my God, are you going to be okay? Like, should we get her? I'm confused. Are you going to be okay? And I'm like, we can't. Like, we literally cannot have any more cats right now in our apartment. We're not even supposed to have 3, but I had my doctor write me a ESA letter because I have depression and anxiety, and they definitely help my depression and anxiety. So he wrote me an ESA letter so that we can have our 3 cats here. And it's just like already so much in here in this space. So 4 would be even crazier. If we had a house, I'm not kidding, I'd probably have 5, 6, 7 cats. I'm just like, so I want to go back because I really want to like play with her, and I want to be able to actually pet her and stuff, but I don't know when they're going to let her out of quarantine. I don't know why she was in that little glass box, but I was like, hello? So yeah, that's my story. I was really, really sad. And I had already cried yesterday morning, so I was like really emotional. And I just was crying all day yesterday. I cried when my shipped driver, she came with our groceries, and I opened the door and she was just like smiling and really nice. And I was like, I hope you have a great day. And she said she hoped I had a great day too. And I started crying like once I shut the door because I was like, oh my God, nice people. Like, I love when people are just nice back to you, even though obviously she like had to be because she's a driver that delivers groceries, but at the same time she didn't have to be because people are mean all the time that are workers, just like I explained. But yeah, so yesterday was an emotional day for me. I was so tired last night from just crying all day about everything. Like a drop of a fucking hat, I was crying. A drop of a hat, I was crying, girl. That's all. That is all for this episode. I'm just yapped my little mouth off, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought of these stories, and let me know what you're doing today. Please, happy Wednesday. I hope you have the best day ever, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.